Hi, this is Herskowitz. I am leaving this video message for the people of Lakewood, for the people that know me, I guess maybe some people that don't know me yet. So I'm leaving this video message basically because I have been getting a lot of phone calls with people asking me why I didn't run for office this year. I guess I probably ran for so many different years that they were wondering why I'm not running this year. Especially since there's a void left in the township committee and there's really not anybody running that's an incumbent, so there might be a chance to win actually. But I decided not to run because I just didn't want to cause the whole tumult in this town anymore. It seems that every time I run, the consensus is that I'm just running to make trouble, or I'm trying to cause trouble against yeshiva or whatever it is, but that's never the case. But people try to make it into the case. So we're not doing that. But what I just wanted to leave this message for was I was asked to explain what's going on in the town. I am not a what you would call a rabble rouser, although they tried to make me into that for the past 10 years. They tried to, every time somebody gets upset or somebody tries to speak up, they automatically say, oh, must be Herskowitz trying to get them all excited and trying to upset them, and it's almost never the case. But I'm going to leave this message basically just to tell the people of Lakewood that I personally, and I'm sure some of you, if you knew what's going on, would be upset knowing that the town is going in the direction that it's going in. 13 years ago, I don't know if I'm sure many of you have seen the video where I got up to speak about the future of Lakewood, and I spoke about what's going to end up happening, and my predictions, which were not anything of, you don't have to be a genius to figure it out, all came true. And we're left with a town where our taxes are just going to be going through the roof. They've been keeping it low for now because they've been borrowing so much money, but it's going to happen. Your taxes are going to be an insane amount of money, higher than they are already, which right now there are people suffering to the point where they can't even keep their homes. And it's just going to keep getting worse. Quality of life is just going to keep getting worse. Businesses are suffering because people can't simply drive around the town at this point. So people have to open up multiple businesses in different parts of town just to keep their customers, which obviously hurts the bottom line. The school situation is terrible, and of course the main pet peeve is the traffic, which is not just an annoyance, but it's actually dangerous. I'm going to try to wrap this up as fast as possible. The main point that I want to make right now, and I know it's Erev Pesach, and I'm leaving this message B'dafka Erev Pesach because before Passover and before the high holidays, that is when our township committee and the people who pull the strings of the township committee, that's when they try to push through all the things that normally would not go through because people would protest. Because we, the people of Lakewood, have a life to lead, and our main business isn't the township. It's not taking the money from the township. So we have to work and raise our families, and we're very busy, and we don't have time to sit here babysitting and checking to make sure that the people on the township committee aren't doing shtick with people that are not on the township committee, with developers and with askanim supposedly. And so that's why I'm leaving this message now before Pesach, to tell everybody that this is the time that they push in their things. And we know, years ago they tried making a mall in Cedar Bridge, and a woman became famous, Mrs. Applegrad became famous for getting up and screaming and saying this is not what Lakewood needs. And she was right on many levels. I don't know if she knew how right she was. And they said, okay, we're not going to do it. And everybody just rested easy and said, oh, they're not going to do it. And now, a week ago, they went in one day and they just pushed it through. A project that most towns would talk about and have public input about for years. And they literally pushed it through in one day. And in the same day, they pushed through a development of 600 condominiums. Now, I don't want to get into details of who, what, where, whatever, whether it's a good thing to have or not a good thing to have, but it's something that needs to be discussed. It's something that needed to be discussed as far as where the road's going to go, where the opening is going to go to such a project, where is this project going to be, how is it going to affect the people in the neighborhood. I want people to understand that there's a neighborhood that's been around for 50 years, that there are people already selling their homes on Forest Avenue because they know that their backyard is now going to be the backyard for 600 condominiums. So these are things that need to be discussed. And unfortunately, we live in a township, and this is my main point. We're living in a township where our township committeemen, especially our mayor, has taken advantage of the fact that we had COVID for the past 3 years and still doesn't have a township meeting. We still don't get notices. Nobody gets notices sent to their homes to tell them that there's going to be 600 condominiums within 1 block of their home. Forget about a mile. In normal cities, when there's something that's going to affect your house that's a mile away, you will get a notice and you will be asked to come to a public meeting to put in your input. So people say, like, I didn't even know that there was such a thing. So I just want you to know that in like a week or two ago, that our planning board passed 2 projects that in any normal town, in any normal city, would have been a topic of discussion for years and years, and they would have asked many people for their input from miles and miles away from these projects. And here in our town, nobody was notified, nobody was told, and there is no way to even put in your input to come to a township committee meeting, because our township is the only township that is still practicing social distancing for township meetings. They have Zoom meetings, and I personally have never attended a Zoom meeting with the township. The only person I ever had a Zoom meeting was with my doctor. That was it. So, and I don't feel like going on a Zoom meeting where at any moment Menashe Miller could just push a button and tell me to shut up. So I'm asking that the people of the town make their voices known. And I hope this video goes around. And I am wishing everybody a Chag Kosher v'Sameach. And hopefully after Pesach, we will be having some very frank discussions about the direction our town is taking. And I'm going to